Good morning. How are we doing today? Good? We're just gonna wait till 9 o'clock. A little bit early. There are some people tuning in, so we want to make sure we have time for everyone. 4 minutes to go. In the meantime, we'll just see how we're all doing today. How did we sleep? I know I slept a little creaky, but that's okay. I've been having a knee bugging me the last few days. That was a lot, eh? It's kind of life, You feel great, you wake up for no reason, and you're just sore. But, that's why we're doing these stretches. They're called floor stretches. So for those of you who want to do it on the floor, you have a mat like this, that's fine. But if not, you can actually do a lot of this in bed. Just make sure your bed is firm enough that it offers support. What we don't want is we don't want that bed to cave in, forcing your back out of alignment, right? So ideally, a hard enough surface. But if you have trouble getting out of the bed in the morning, then you might want to try a few of these in bed, where we can kind of loosen you up and get you going. Especially our favorite pencil stretch, which we're going to do laying down. It's one of the best. We love it. It gets the whole body, head to toe. And that'll be a good way to start the day. A couple of the hip ones, a couple of groin stretches. These will get you at least out of bed if you're not doing so great. And then we'll move on from there. Now, how are we doing for time? 3 more minutes. Wow, what did we talk about for 3 minutes? The weather, what an insane heat wave. I mean, absolutely crazy. And it's, I think, one of the problems now. We're having a surge in the region of COVID, right? So we're the worst in the country, this province. It's spreading everywhere. I mean, there's a chance we're going to be in code red this week. People don't smarten up. And the funny thing is, with all this going on, I took a drive yesterday. I went through the boardwalk. So there's a place called St. Anne's. For those of you who know it, you know it. If you don't, well, it's a nice boardwalk along the water. Beautiful place. I mean, beautiful area. And hundreds of people were there yesterday. I didn't get out of my car. I just went for a drive. Hundreds of people there yesterday. 2, maybe 3 masks. We got to learn, folks. We got to work together. We're a community. We got to do this, all of us together. It's the only way we're going to get through this. I know it sucks. The longer we go on not doing what we need to do, the longer we keep this thing hanging around our community. We don't want that, right? So, all right. Well, 8:58. I mean, I suppose it's close enough to 9 o'clock. Can't really tell if anyone's tuned in or not, if we're missing anyone. It's hard to see. But I think we're good. Oh, 1 minute now. I may as well keep chatting for 1 minute. My monologue. All right. So before we start, let's make sure we got everything. All right. We have proper attire. You don't necessarily need shoes, right? Because you're doing them laying down. If you're in bed, yes, you can technically do them in your pajamas. Just make sure that nothing's going to affect or obstruct your movement, right? So you have one of these loose-fitting gowns, it might bunch up, it might twist up around the joints. We don't want that, okay? So, off we go. First one we're going to do, full body. Now, you can't see my heels, because you have to choose whether or not I see my heels or my hands. I guess I can turn the camera. Anyway, the camera is very far right now, and without an assistant, I think this is as good as I'm going to get. Well, it is live. Live videos have issues. I'll have to fix that for next time. So, here's what we're going to do. Feet flat against the wall, right? Or straight up. So what you're doing is you want your feet and your heels to be pushed out. So you're not pointing your toes. You're pushing your heels down, right? Then you're bringing your hands up here. And you're just going to stretch it out as much as you can. You're going to reach up with your hands and push down with your heels, not with your toes, with your heels. That's just going to stretch you out. There we go. Very nice. Good. See, you don't have to hold it for too long. All right, there's just a few of us, so I think I am going to go in and adjust this camera. Good morning. A nice little comment. There we go. How's that for a bit of a fancier angle? All right. Yeah, I think that's a good angle. Okay, so good morning. Maybe everyone had their coffee? No? Water? Both are important this early in the morning, especially the water. Boy, this shirt's making me look chubby today. Okay. So here we go again. Now you can see my feet, right? So we're pushing with the heels out. You don't have to curl your toes in. It's just a good way to remember not to point your toes. You're not pointing your toes. Like this. Legs flat. Arms up. Good. And reach. And push down with the heels. And up with the arms. Very good. Nice. Good job. That's great. You're doing great already. So that's 2 done, right? So 1 stretch, 2 sets. Why do I tend to push 2 sets? Listen, not everyone does. And some people like to hold it for a really, really long time, but we're a little bit more advanced. I like to do 2 because the first one kind of gets a kink out. And then the second one, you can go a little bit longer. So there's a benefit to doing 2 because you can get that deeper stretch on the second go round. All right, so next part we're going to work out is the groin. Very simply, you're going to curl up the legs, feet together, right? And now you're just going to let your legs open. Now you're not pushing them down, right? You don't want to push them down. My pants, you see what I mean when I'm stretching? My pants are preventing me from stretching. So, you want to just relax these. Right? You don't want to push them down, because if you push them down, you can hurt your hip. Yeah, we just want to relax and let the stretch sink in. Nice and easy, because remember, we relax into stretches. Good. There we go. Bring it back up. Very nice. Move the mat a little bit so my head's not falling on the ground. All right. And we'll do it. Now, if you have trouble getting your legs up this high, right, you can do them down here, right? There's still benefit to it. Not a problem, right? Just make sure it doesn't cause any tension on the hips. You want to focus on the groin. If there's tension on the hips, you stop. Right? We don't do things that are going to cause pain. If you feel pain in any of your joints, we stop. And that's when you reach out to us, and we'll build a custom program to correct any of your issues. All right, perfect. Good job. How'd that feel? Everyone doing good so far? We're already almost there. You're killing it. Okay, so now we're going to work on the legs. Okay, so this is going to work out right here. These hip flexors. Now, this would make a deep hip stretch. But if you're not, you're okay to come down here, right? But don't pull to the point that it's going to hurt, right? Because you're going to feel a pull here and a slight pull in the front. But we don't want to squeeze. We're not pulling. We're not forcing the leg down. When I do this, I'm not pulling my leg down. If you pull your leg down, you're going to hurt yourself. What you're doing is you're relaxing. Right? We have a tendency to push stretches. We're not pushing stretches. We're just relaxing. And remember, we let go. Right? I'll bring out the show and tell in a minute as to why we don't drop our leg. Okay? Remember, don't pull. So if this causes too much of a pull, you go here. Nice and loose. And we're not pulling with our arms, we're just relaxing into the stretch. That's what stretches are supposed to be. They're not an exercise. They're a stretch. You relax. Zen moments, right? There we go. So I'll get the show and tell for those of you who are new here. So when you do a stretch, okay, you'll have your muscles, tendons, ligaments, pretty much everything involved in the joints and muscles stretched out like an elastic, right? So what you want to do is when you let go, you want to let it come back because you have all this tissue now that's stretched out. And if I was to have in this position just drop my leg, right, all of this instead of relaxing does that. And that's how you get sharp pains. So you ever notice those people that, they say they pulled their back out because they reached down and pick up a piece of paper? It's because they bent down, which stretched their muscles, and they snapped up. And that's what happened. So take your time. There's no rush. There's no competition. Unless you got to go to work, you have all day to do this. But you're not going to be here all day, guys. Don't worry. But a good 20 minutes, You could do all of this in 5 minutes if you do just one set. And we're taking our time a little bit because we're explaining things as we go. And that's okay. Right? So we don't hold it for long. 10 seconds. That's it. Good. Now, we're going to work on our glutes and the front of our hips. So, this could get a little tricky for some of you. So, depending on your mobility, you might not be able to do it. So, we're going to sit like this as if we're crossing our leg, right? No big deal. Now, we're going to reach down, right? There we go. So, now I'm stretching the folded leg, this guy. Now, there's another exercise we can do later for it, so you'll see. So, if you have trouble doing this one, don't worry about it. We got one coming up for you. All right, so there we go. And that will stretch out. So now I'll switch sides. And I'll show you, right? So now as I do this, this is stretching out here all the way up like that. So that's a glute stretch. But we're going to have different glute stretches there. Why am I reaching over to grab this leg? Because you're going to notice, if you have great core strength and you want to just be able to pull your leg up enough to do a stretch, that's great. But I'm suspecting we probably don't. Now, if you're really stiff, we can do it this way with the foot down, but you lose quite a bit of that stretch. But it's better than none, right? So we just try to get it up there. Good. Doing great. We're already almost done. All right. So there we go. So that's a glute stretch. How'd that feel? Good. All right. Now, we have two types of back stretches. We're going to do one called the child's pose later. We're going to do another one now laying down if you have issues being on your knees. Because if you have sore knees, you're trying to do these and you'll roll over on your knees, not great, right? So let's try doing one for the lower back. And remember, guys, this is all relaxing. This is not, listen, if it's really hard, you might not be relaxed. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring the legs up together. Hold on to them now. And we relax. Letting that lower back lumbar tension stretch out. There we go. Just like that, no problem. Piece of cake, right? Just letting it stretch out. Now again, if you feel pressure in the hips, we got to take it easy. And we always come down nice and slow. Good. How'd that feel? Good. Perfect. I don't know, some of them aren't easy, right? You see some of these things, you're like, wow, I can't get my legs up that high. Don't worry about it. Right? The reason you can't get them up high is because we haven't done this much. So the more we do, see, so now, second one, you can probably get a little bit deeper. Right? So now, you're going to have that back nice and stretched out. Perfect. How are we doing? You doing okay? Good. You're looking great, by the way. Doing so good. Okay, so last one we're going to do is right for this region here, okay? So, what you're going to do, you're going to open your arms up, and you're going to do like a snow angel, right? Remember when you were a kid? Do the snow angel? Good. Same thing. So this one, we're going to go up. I know it looks like I'm doing reps, right? Because I'm like doing it multiple times to tell you, okay? But we want this to be open. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit like this and let that stretch kind of sink in a bit. Because you're going to feel this part here stretching out when your arms are down. I'm just going to hold it there. And then we're going to bring it up. And just hold it up there. I mean, you lay your arms down on the ground if you want. Right. And back down. Good. And up. Now, if you feel anything in your shoulders, any pain, any tension, you don't want to do this. Because sometimes we'll have conditions that we don't know about. You just have a sore shoulder, right? Or a shoulder that you don't know is sore until you put it into a certain position. And then you find out it's sore. So we got to be careful of that. All right, so how are we doing so far? You guys are doing great, by the way. We're almost done. So 2 more to go. All right. Now these are ones we're going to do rolled over. One will be on our knees, one will not. So we'll do the one not on our knees first. So this, a little bit advanced, but it's actually easier than you think. So I would encourage everyone to try it out because it looks complicated and it looks like you won't be able to do it, but you probably will. So here's the idea. We've all sat in this, right? And you see how unflexible I am because this is why we're doing this together. All right. So we have the leg down and we want this one out of the way. Now, I pushed mine over here. You could technically have yours here. That's not very comfortable. This is actually easier than you would think. It looks hard, but it's actually not. Right? Because it eases up on this pain. This hip right here is not being squeezed, right? It's allowed to be stretched out. So give it a shot. Just try it, right? So you're lined up all the way here. Good. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bend down over your leg. I know it sounds crazy, right? But trust me, you'll be able to go. So start off here, right? And then we go as low as you can. Now the goal would be to down on your elbows. You might be in this position. You might be in this position. You might even be in this position. But what we want to do is we want to get down low and feel that stretch along the back of the glutes. Because this is immensely good for your glutes, which is immensely good for your lower back. All right, so we just come down here. Hold it for a few seconds. Good job. Now I'll do the other side, and you will see it from the other angle, obviously. And you'll be able to kind of see how this thing operates. So, it looks complicated, not so bad. Right? So now it's really stretching out all the way to this area right here. And that's what we want. Right, just take our time. We're not pushing ourselves down. We're just relaxing into it. So if you're kind of up here and you're feeling the stretch here, where you should be feeling it, that's fine. You'll get to here. Don't worry. The important thing is that we feel the stretch and that we relax into the stretch. Don't push it, right? It's not a competition. This is about you getting more flexible and having quality of life. That's what we want. Okay? Doing good. 15 minutes. See, it's not taking that long. So we're going to do this one more time. Right? Give you a chance to really look at it again. Right? So, remember, think about this position, right, as far as the leg goes. So, now we remove this leg. Now we're here. Now we're in the right position. Right? So then we just, hands over here. And we're trying to get that knee, center chest, right? So we just come down and relax into it. And you see, it's one of the few exercises where I don't force you to have your back straight. So bonus, right? Because I'm always harassing you guys about keeping your back straight. And today, you get to chill out. And that's okay. Right, just a few seconds. You're going to feel those muscles relax and stretch. It's a relieving feeling. You know, a lot of stretches when you first get into them, especially if you have tightness, it feels not quite painful. It's not the word. But you feel the tightness, right? You feel it. You know it's tight. And then as you relax into it, you don't push through it, you relax into it. Starts to be a sense of relief, you know? You can feel the blood flowing, the muscles relaxing. That's what you want. Perfect. Just like that. Good job, everybody. All right, so the last exercise is what's called the child's pose. So this would be on your hands and knees. Again, still on the ground. You can technically still do it in bed. You can do it anywhere. Make sure solid enough surface. So if you have one of those super squishy beds, you might want to be careful. You might want to find a better surface for that. But here we go. Ready? Now this is great for the lower back. So if you can do this, so if you don't have huge knee problems or shoulder problems keeping your arms from holding you up, then I implore you to give this a shot because this is great for the lower back. Okay, ready? So hands and knees, evenly spread apart, right? So we don't want the legs together. Shoulder width, nice and comfortable. Now you're going to keep that back straight. Yeah, absolutely. Right? Now we're going to come down. And you're just going to sit back on your feet as far as you can go. Now you're going to notice your arms might need to move. Right? Because as you come down, obviously I can't, my arms are not going to reach indefinitely. Right? And then we relax. So we don't push our bum and hips down. We relax. Good. Right? There we go. And we just literally let go. Right? Just let go. Our muscles just sit down and relax. Ready to go again? We'll do one more like that, okay? So hands and knees. You sit back. Now you're going to feel that back stretching out. It's going to get your lats, which are here. It's going to get your lower back. It's going to get your hips. And we relax. Good. Nice. Now, we're going to do a small modification, okay? So, let's say someone has problems getting that far. So, maybe we have a big midsection. Maybe someone's pregnant. Maybe we can't get that low so we don't feel the stretch in the back, right? Maybe we have hip problems. And we try to go back and we only get here, so you don't really get a stretch. Here's what we're going to do, okay? So, minor step backwards, okay? Just a minor shift. Most people, no matter what we are, I mean, we can do this, right? So just a minor stretch backwards. Now our movement's going to be in the arms, okay? So, now we bring our head down this way. There we go. And now we're stretching up that lower back. And we get it this way. So we're doing the similar position with the back. We're getting the stretch out, but we're doing it slightly differently, right? So here we go again. Now the second one, we try to push back as much as we can. And relax into that. And as you relax, you're going to sink more. Good. Perfect. Well, good job, everybody. Listen, for Monday morning, I think we're pretty well stretched out. How are we feeling? Feeling all good? Perfect. Now, we've done a lot, right? Blood should be pumping. It should be warm. We've worked out a lot of our muscles. We worked out our lower back and stretched things out in such a way that our body is ready to start the day. And I think that if any of you have done this, please give me some feedback. Let me know how it felt. Let me know what you felt. If you need any more advanced help, because obviously we offer private sessions. And do us a huge favor, guys. So there's a subscribe button on the channel. So please hit that. Subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications whenever we go live. And share this out with all of your friends because it's important. And like the video. So that's how this YouTube thing works, right? You gotta like the video, gotta subscribe, hit the bell, and then you share it out to people. Because listen, we all need help, right? I'm not a yoga master yet, right? And right, we gotta work on our flexibility because this is gonna keep that quality of life going as life progresses. It's very easy to lose it, and if we don't use it, we will lose it. So let's work together. Get the word out there, share it with everyone. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be a nice long journey. And a year from now, we're gonna be also flexible that we'll be in the Cirque du Soleil. All right, so have yourself a good day. And as I say goodbye, I'm gonna crawl over here to the end button and have a good day.